All right. Was there a certain point in your life where you knew you wanted to be a coach, or was it just more of a gradual decision?
For me, it was a decision that came about while I was in college. And it happened probably during my sophomore year when I realized that the path I was on was not something that I was enjoying. And because of the experience I'd had in athletics and the influence of the coach that I was running for at the time, I decided that that was something that appealed to me, and it basically reignited my passion for you know well, it set me down my course, and
Mm-hmm.
so it definitely I had a lot more enthusiasm for college once I made that switch into education, and it made it more enjoyable, and I was a better student.
What was your major before you
I
switched?
started off majoring in business, and it was going to be accounting,
Okay.
and that was just kind of a default type uh, thing because my dad had a business background, and he suggested that I go into business, which I took some business classes in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I took a few of them my freshman year. I took accounting, I took some other classes, and I was hoping it would click. I was hoping that it would be something that would make that I would find a interest in and a passion for, and it just never happened.
Oh yeah.
And so I knew, at least during my freshman year, that this was going to be really tough if I didn't figure something else out. And so thankfully I did.
All right. Did you know what you wanted to do? Or I guess that answers it. You didn't know like exactly what you wanted to do
No,
going into college.
not exactly. I kind of figured I'd just get a degree and just find a job doing
Mm-hmm.
something, being a business guy, just
Yeah.
kind of a, generic type thing. I didn't have a specific deal, and I didn't really, from what I'd take, the courses I'd taken in high school, I didn't really enjoy those business classes that much. But I think I figured that if I stuck with it in college, that it would be something I'd grow into,
Mm-hmm.
and it never did. I never did. So.
Okay. And how has your degree or degrees helped you in getting to where you're at now?
Well, it's they've been absolutely instrumental. I mean, having a college degree is, it opens a lot of doors, and you can't do what I'm doing without one. But having the degree that I got, I mean, it was something that, it was PE when I was in school. I think they changed it to kinesiology about the time I graduated. So, but it's same thing, and it was it allowed me to pursue my dreams of becoming a coach and a teacher, and this is a profession where at least as of now you can't do that without that degree. And so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was instrumental. And then I also got a master's degree, which you know provided me with some experience as far as getting coaching at the college level as a graduate assistant coach, and also taking some courses that I found really interesting.
Mm-hmm. How long have you been working in your field? Just overall,
If I include the couple of years that I was a graduate assistant coach, and then had a couple of years where I was not in education at all, take out those. But basically, I'm getting up there probably 24 years in public schools, and plus a couple of years of grad school, so 26 years. Where my first year in public schools, I coached cross country for that semester, but then I switched schools because starting off I wasn't a full-time teacher, and so I had the opportunity to become a full-time teacher, but there was no coaching involved.
Mm-hmm.
When I switched schools for the rest of that school year, I wasn't coaching, but then the next year I started coaching basketball and track, at the junior high level, girls, and been coaching ever since.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, again, 23, 24 years.
What is the most satisfying or your favorite parts of your day-to-day job?
Probably, I enjoy the teaching. I enjoy, the classroom. But, I think that the relationships that I build in coaching and getting to work with those kids that I coach is the highlight because, you know, when I teach a health class, I have those kids for a semester, and it's really hard to make a connection from a semester class. But when you coach, you get a kid, you may even be aware of them at 7th and 8th grade, but then you have more of a opportunity to directly affect them and coach them starting in 9th grade all the way through their senior year. So you really get to know the kid, and it's just really rewarding. And that's something that's every day I look forward to.
Yeah. What are some of the hardest things you had to deal with?
I've been in some pretty challenging situations. I've been at some different schools that, where you had, some just definite challenges that I can't say that I was necessarily prepared for. Disciplinary issues, and sometimes you would have disciplinary issues in which, you didn't feel like you necessarily were getting the support you needed, whether it was from parents or administrators. And, my current job, I definitely have the support of administrators and for the most part the parents as well, but there's still going to be those issues. Being a coach at my current school, a lot of the coaches have to do things like lunch duty and early morning duty, and it's a daily type thing. And so that's probably, to me, the part that I like the least, because, you're on the front line sometimes dealing with some, issues that can be, a bit of a challenge. And, it's only for a short time each day, so it's not that big a deal.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and what would be one of the pillars you live by when it comes to your coaching philosophy?
That's a tough question. I as far as coaching is concerned, my philosophy toward training is I think consistency is really important, and that you've got to be consistent about your approach to how you train, and that has to go on into your life, and that you can't be halfway about it. And so, I try to live that way as well as far as my job is concerned, and also with my family. I mean, I don't feel like you can expect to be successful if you don't put in that commitment for time and be consistent with it. And so, when I tell runners that, you can't expect to be a good runner by just training a little bit, right before school starts. You got to train throughout the summer. You got to train year round. That consistency, I feel like, is something I try to carry on into my daily life as far as, my commitment to my family and my job.
Mm-hmm. All right. What advice would you give to someone pursuing this profession?
I think probably, as far as education is concerned, I think the more things that you can be certified to teach, the better. And the more sports that you can be comfortable coaching, the better. Basically be open to maybe getting out of your comfort zone early on in your career, because those experiences will only help you. And I think that if you can, basically expect it to not necessarily be easy earlier in your career, then if you can weather the storm the first year or two, then I think you got it made. I think a lot of young teachers, get in there and then bail out early in their career, and that's the thing. It's going to be tough for everybody. Every experience is something you kind of put in the bank, and it helps make it easier down the road. So I know that there were things that I may have struggled with early in my career that now I don't even think about, because it's just that experience that comes with just hanging around long enough. So
that's true.
I think that again, like I said, I coached junior high girls basketball. That wasn't necessarily what I dreamed of coaching, but at the same time, once I did it, I put my part into it and did the best I could, and I knew that experience would benefit me down the road. So,
all right, thank you.
Sure, thank you.